Hey everybody, and welcome back to Weather for Weather Geeks, the Monday evening edition. Hope you had a good weekend. It is now officially the autumn season. Autumn began earlier on today officially, astronomical autumn anyway. Meteorologically or climatologically speaking, we've been in autumn since September 1st, but as far as the traditional astronomical seasons, we're now into autumn and the first sunset of the season, getting set to take place a little after I record this video. And if you're a longtime viewer of this video, I get a kick out of in March and September, noting the sunset lining up almost exactly with 224 during the equinoxes, because this is a mostly due east-west thoroughfare, and the sun rises and sun sets almost due east and due west, right around the equinox in March and in September. All right, equinox means roughly equal day and night, but it's actually a little bit deceiving, especially at our latitude. There's a couple of reasons why we actually don't have equal day and night on the equinox. One is our latitude. We're about 40 degrees north of the equator. Also, we measure sunrise and sunset a little bit differently, and that has an impact on sunset and sunrise times, meaning that it doesn't really exactly line up 12 hours exactly each way during the first day of autumn, first day of spring. We measure sunrise by, it's when the sun's disk first appears above the horizon. That's sunrise. Now, sunset is not defined as when the bottom of the disk hits the horizon. It's not when the middle of the disk hits the horizon. It's when the entire sun's disk is below the horizon. And that subtle difference in how we measure or define sunrise and sunset does have an impact on the sunrise times and sunset times as well. Today, autumn officially got underway when most of us were asleep. It was at 3:50 this morning, September 23rd. Begins autumn, and this is actually our shortest season of the year by a day or two. The first day of winter will be on December the 21st. And just a reminder of the reason for the seasons. Well, it's all about the tilt of the Earth. It's tilted at roughly 23 degrees, and that is why we have seasons on Earth. If the Earth was not tilted like this, we would not have seasons. And there are some planets that are kind of like that, but because the Earth is tilted, the sun hits different parts of the Earth at different angles at different times of the year, and during the equinoxes in March and September, the sun's most direct rays are right on the equator. They're, of course, on their way south to the Tropic of Capricorn on the first day of winter in the northern hemisphere and summer in the southern hemisphere. So, of course, all this means that the sun's getting lower in the sky, and theoretically, it will be cooling off and we'll be heading into the fall and winter seasons, although there's very little in the way of true fall weather coming our way anytime real soon. All right, we had some showers earlier on today. These have pretty much gone by the wayside over the last couple of hours. These were most numerous right around lunchtime into the first half of the afternoon, and now they're gone. It's delightful outside this evening, and the dew points are coming down. It was a warm night last night by late September standards, and this morning dew points were still well up into the 60s through about midday. And then the cold front rolled through and dew points have plunged down into the 50s. They'll continue retreating as we head through the night tonight, allowing things to cool off pretty nicely. Good night to keep the windows open for tonight as we drop down into the middle 50s. Not a lot of active weather across the country this evening. With our front, we do have some showers and some thunder in parts of New England. Actually, it's not every day you see this. A severe thunderstorm watch out in Arizona today. Saw a couple of videos earlier on Twitter of some possible tornadoes in Arizona and some hail-producing storms out there as well. It's not often the nation's hotspot as far as severe weather is concerned is in Arizona. All right, our weather for Tuesday is going to be delightful. It's going to be a seasonable day. Some fair weather clouds mixed in with the sun and right around 70. Hey, that's par for this time of the year. So just a very nice early autumn day coming up on Tuesday. Now, Wednesday we'll get into a little more of a southwesterly flow as that high shifts off to the south and the clockwise flow around the high brings our wind around into a southerly direction, and we'll get well up into the 70s, even flirting with 80 on Wednesday. This weak front will knock down temperatures back into the lower 70s on Thursday. There could be a shower with this, especially in the morning hours on Thursday. All right, the bigger story, of course, as we get into the medium range is going to be the warmth. If you've been following me on social media or checked out my forecast at 6 this evening on 21 News, I really hit this kind of hard as far as the importance of it and the impacts of it. Temperatures will be a little up and down over the next few days, but starting Friday will be way above average for several days in a row. In fact, this past weekend was warm. The first weekend of fall and the last weekend of September will be just about as warm with temperatures in the 80s, and then I've got an 86 in the forecast for Monday. That's the last day of September on Monday. October 1st is next Tuesday, and watch what the jet stream is going to do here as we transition into October. Classic kind of blowtorch look to the jet stream here. Chilly and stormy out west underneath that trough, but this is a mondo ridge that's going to be parked over the southeast. And this is going to keep all the cool stuff way, way off to the north. And, you know, if this were July, we'd be talking about perhaps middle 90s, perhaps even upper 90s for afternoon highs in our area. As it stands, I think we've got a shot at hitting 90 degrees on October 1st and maybe October 2nd. Now, that's important because as far as records go back into the early 1930s, we have never hit 90 in Youngstown in the month of October. Our latest 90-degree temperature on record, 1953 on September 29th. It hit 90. Notice 2017, we had a heat wave back in late September of 2017 with a few 90-degree temperatures very late in the season. 2007 also featured a late season 90-degree temperature. So I think we've got a shot at hitting 90 once or twice next week as we flip the calendar into October. If that's the case, that'll be the first time on record. All right, you know, when we look at the entire calendar year, every month is now warmer than it was 30 years ago, but September has seen the least amount of warming when we go back 30 years. I've shown this graphic a few times on Weather Geeks lately. But interestingly, while this is a 30-year chart, in the last few years, September's been really, really warm. We've had top 10 warm Septembers in 2016, 2018, and this year. In 2017, it was the 13th warmest September on record, so just missed the top 10. So September's been very warm lately. And I think with the kind of warmth we have coming up, I think we're in like 8th place right now in 2019 as far as warmest Septembers go. And with upper 80s likely early next week before we flip over into October, it's possible we'll get into the top 2 or 3 warmest Septembers on record. I haven't run the numbers to see what they look like, but just eyeballing it, I'm not going to be surprised if we climb up into the very top of that list for warmest Septembers on record. That'll do it for tonight's Weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you back here on Tuesday on ericwfmj.com, wfmj.com/weather, Facebook, Twitter, and my YouTube channel as well. See you then.